Hello everyone, my name is Cassidy and this is my YouTube channel where I'll be talking about my cross-stitch hobby. Thanks for clicking on this video, and if this video started to play after the one you were already watching, either way, I hope you stick around. For my first video, I'm going to be doing a WIP parade. I see a lot of Flosstubers posting their mid-year WIP parades, so I figured that would probably be the best thing for me to start out with. I know it's a good way to find new channels and new stitchers. So I'm going to start out with just a little short intro, just a little bit about me and my stitchy journey, stitchy style. I am 31 years old. My pronouns are she, her. I live in southern Indiana with my husband and my 3 dogs. Their names are Guts, Wings, and Trine. We call them our heterochromia cult because even though they aren't related, they have one blue eye and one brown eye. And it's kind of neat because I have blue eyes and my husband has brown eyes. So I am child-free by choice. Also about my dogs, I would insert a picture of them. They're the cutest ever. I know a lot of people are like, here's a picture. I do not know how to edit videos yet, so I'm sure I will learn. That was just one hurdle I didn't want to jump over in order to begin doing this. So for my patterns that I printed them all out because I wouldn't know. See, I don't even know directions, so I wouldn't know how to put a picture right here. I'll figure it out though. So I love stickers, so I figured I would show my thread storage because I covered it with stickers with a bunch of different things that I like. So I'm gonna hold that up because I feel like instead of talking about what I like and my aesthetic, which really is all over the place, I'm just gonna hold this up. I love spooky. Where am I at in the camera? Spooky. I watch some anime. I love cute things as well. Witchy. My favorite animal is a manatee. I wish I played Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't have anyone to play with. My husband has a gaming group that he plays with, but fun fact, we have a 15-year age gap. I forgot to say earlier, we've been together for 10 years, married for 5. But with our age gap, I don't want to play with a group of 40-year-old men. So I wish I could play, but I don't have anyone to play with. Cross stitch, then the back. I love skulls, oddities, curiosities, creepy things, Halloween. It's a lifestyle. True crime, reading, all that good stuff. So probably reflects in my stitching as well. I guess I would call myself a modern stitcher. I gravitate towards the modern patterns. I started watching Flosstube around February of this year, so it's like new to me, but before that I had never heard or seen of Mirabilia, Nora Corbett, the Fancy Ladies, Quakers, Samplers, Long Dog. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know those terms. I had probably seen them, but I didn't pay attention because they kind of weren't my style. That also made me think that maybe people wouldn't want to watch me because I don't. That's not the style that I enjoy to stitch. But then I had to come full circle and realize that I like watching Flosstubers who don't necessarily stitch the style of patterns that I would want to stitch. So maybe I would still be able to add value to the community even though I don't stitch all of those things. I learned to cross stitch whenever I was younger from my grandma. We just got kits from the store. And then in 2015, after I grew up, after high school and college age, I got back into it a bit. I didn't like any of the patterns at the stores or that I was finding online. So I got my little graph paper, made a Mario pattern, and stitched that. And I've stitched here and there the years after that. I found perler bead patterns that I would transfer and stitch those, and snarky things that got popular on the internet for cross stitch. And if I keep looking down here, it's because I have notes, because I would never remember everything that I want to talk about. So 2022, I really got more serious with this hobby that I kept coming back to all the time. So, and of course, with the pandemic, a lot of cool designers came out of everyone being at home. And so I was like, whoa, there's all of these patterns that are the type of things that I want to stitch. And cross stitching is good for me, keeps me from scrolling, good for my brain. So I wanted to try and stay motivated. So really my main stitching journey started in 2022. I stitch from PDFs. I really just use DMC. I have dabbled a little bit in Cosmo and some hand-dyed threads, but definitely not as much as I see a lot of other people do. I know some pattern designers, and I know that they spend a lot of time choosing the colors and the palette that they want to use for their designs. So I just leave it to the experts, and I just get whatever floss that they tell me to get. So it's just easier for me as well. I do stitch from PDF, but I don't use like Pattern Keeper or any software like that, so I don't keep stats. So if that's what you're looking for, I hope you stick around, but you unfortunately won't be getting any stats from me. And then one last thing I want to say is, before that, was that I'm going to have hanging threads on my projects, and I did my best ironing them. I wasn't going to iron them at all, but I was like, no, I need to go that extra step. But the hanging threads, I'll try not to in the future, but kind of looks a little bad. But there's going to be hanging threads, which kind of leads into what I was going to say about, this is a no judgment zone. I saw Flosstube, Cam the Stitcher, she shared her WIP parade. Sorry, I don't know how to edit that out either, so sorry, I had the camera moved. Anyway, she set a boundary about no judging on how many WIPs that she has, and she was at the one end of the spectrum with a lot of WIPs, and so I'm saying maybe don't judge me for how few WIPs I have and how small they are. Because you might look at one of the patterns and, say, wow, that's a teeny tiny pattern. Why did you not finish that? And I'm just like, don't judge. Don't judge. I won't judge you. Don't judge me. So today is July 8th, 2024. It is also Night Spirit Studio Day. She is a big modern designer on Instagram and Patreon. She has had some health problems. I think this is the 4th annual Night Spirit Studio Day, and it was started by the Witchy Stitcher. So today, if you have the extra funds, go buy some of her patterns. All the information is on the Witchy Stitcher's Instagram post. So I bought a couple patterns, and actually I'm going to share 3 finishes at the end of this video, and one of them, that one right there, is a Night Spirit Studio pattern, so I'm excited to share that on today just to celebrate her and how talented. And I don't know her personally, but I know people who know her, and all I've heard is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things about her. So I'm also wearing her shirt. I have to cover up some of it because it says the F word, but let's see. There we go. Oh, well, I didn't cover it up quite enough, so if you have children or don't like that word, then I apologize. Because of course I don't know how to edit that out. So, okay, let's get into the WIPs. So I'm going to say kind of the month that I started them in. I don't have specific dates because I didn't think I would ever need to record things like that. So my first WIP is from August of 2022. It is called Wolf Paw. During this time I only knew about 14 count Aida, so these earlier projects are only on a 14 count and just a white Aida from the craft store. So I don't know if I'm going to finish this one. I started it as a gift for someone, and there's just cooler things to stitch. So I don't think I'm going to finish it. In the book world, that's called DNF. I think in the cross stitch world it's called UFO, unfinished object. So that might be going bye-bye. Next is a pattern from this book, Creepy Cross Stitch by Tuscan Cardinal. And it is called Welcoming Committee. This is what it looks like. Bear with me as I put this stuff on my clipboard. And here's how far I got. It's focusing. Also, don't judge me on lighting or colors or focusing. I am terrible at technology. Absolutely terrible. I'm doing my best. My phone went for a swim a couple weeks ago, and I was going to record on my phone, and I'm using an old phone until the new iPhone comes out. So, but this is a webcam, but the new iPhone might even be a better quality, so we shall see. This was a 14 count Aida. I thought that I wouldn't want to go back to stitching on 14 count, but one of my later projects that I started recently is on 14 count, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't make that decision so soon, because I actually enjoyed it, but I enjoy higher counts too. That was from October, already messing up. Anyway, this is from November of 2022. I started in November. This was a kit that I received for free. I don't know if the company is around anymore, and I don't know if they're legitimate or not. So it was so long ago. I'm not going to mention who, and that was the same for the Wolf Paw. I don't know if, there you go, hit the camera again. This is supposed to be a bookmark. I probably won't do the top. Probably says Star Wars or something, so I'll probably just finish this little guy maybe and call it a day. Okay, so the next one was from January of 2023. I wanted to continue holiday stitching, and so I started Yule Bat by Broomsticks and Bobbins. I know it's kind of hard to see. I should take that picture out. And that's how far I got. That's upside down. And this one is why didn't you just finish it, Cassidy? Why didn't you just finish it? listen, I got distracted. We all start things and we move on, but we need to refinish, or we need to revisit is what this video is showing me. So in February of 2023, I was wanting to do something for Valentine's Day. So this is also from Broomsticks and Bobbins, called Lovers' Graves. And this is how far I got. And these were on scraps of black Ada. I didn't take the time to count what the count was. Probably 16. So this next one is from May of 2023. This was a Sal from the Stitch Crypt, and it's finished now. So here's the full image. Morbid Curiosity Sal. And this is a very beautiful Ada. This Ada is 16 count by Witch's Garden Crafts, called Nebula. And this is, am I in frame? There we go. This is how far I got. Just this little cat skull. I can't see if it's focusing. This was my first Sal that I tried to do. I clearly was not successful. And what do you know? Other Sals that I've done, I haven't been successful in keeping up. I actually saw recently Bendy Stitchy's video where she said Sal can mean stitch along, start along, or stash along. And I'm beginning to think maybe I'm the stash along type of person. This next one is from sometime later in 2023. I have the picture on my phone because I forgot to print this one. Sorry for the glare, and it doesn't show up very well. Anyway, Toilet Ghost by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. Just on a scrap of it, black Ada. Okay, now we're into 2024, this year. This pattern I started, so I'm involved in my local arts association. So we have our little small town has an art gallery, and they have themed exhibitions every month and a half or so. And so around this time was a sky themed exhibition. So I started this Moonrise Mountain Moth by Fine Frog Stitching. This is great. This is, oh, great job, Cassidy. Great job. A whole 8 stitches. Oh boy. Also on a scrap of probably 16 count black Ada. I also started for that same exhibition was I watch anime, so Demon Slayer. Tanjiro's earring is like a sun with kind of a sky themed one. I got almost done with that and I cannot find it for the life of me. I have no idea what happened. I know for sure I didn't finish it, but I have no idea where that ended up. I'll come across it one day, I'm sure. Probably somewhere in this mess. Ow. Is this focused? I don't know. Anyway, here is the next Sal that I tried to keep up with, and I thought for sure I would be successful because the parts that were coming out were tiny, and I was actually home because I had a foot injury. I broke my ankle, and I still didn't keep up with it. I'm terrible. Anyway, I started this, I got lost. When was this? April. This is also Fine Frog Stitching, and this was the Femurs and Fungi Sal. And this is stitched on a Witch's Garden Crafts 16 count Eclipse. Very pretty. Again, I don't know colors if that's showing up, but got some frames done. There's a little cat skull too. Is this focusing? There we go. So I need to finish that by October because the next gallery exhibition is spooky, so that'd probably be good for spooky. So next is from February of this year. Oh, I also have this on my phone as well. My phone is lost. This is what it's supposed to look like. Nope, wrong way, Cassidy. Van Gogh Sunflowers coming out of a coffee cup by the Stitch Patterns, I think, on Instagram. This is how far I got. This is actually, my best friend's birthday was in January. So I started this in February for her birthday. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll finish it for Mother's Day because I don't have any mothers anymore to give gifts to, so I'll give a gift to my bestie. And I didn't get it done by May either. Oh well, I hope she still loves me. She does. Okay, next is from, I started in May of this year. It's by Bees on Toast, called Spiritfarer Everdore. I'm doing this version. This is one of my favorite video games. So for this one, I actually started it when it came out, I think last year. I didn't look up exactly when it was. But I recently did a restart because I started playing it again. And this was from when I originally did it. And you can tell the white, the Ada, it blends in too much, right? So I restarted it on, I think this is an 18 count. But this Ada is from Dying for Sass. And she has a Patreon. And she allows her patrons to choose the pattern that she's going to specifically hand dye a piece of Ada for. So this Ada was actually dyed for a pattern from the Witchy Stitcher called Death Before Decaf. And it's such a small, that the other side I can still use for that pattern because this really is perfect for that pattern. But it was also perfect for this pattern. I got really close to finishing. Is that focusing? I don't know. So, anyway. This next one is also a Patreon pattern that's no longer available, but will be up in shops soon. Sorry, from Bad Stitch. It should be up in her shops soon. Called Neon Cicada. And for her Patreon, she puts up a poll every month, I think every month, of some prompts. And her patrons choose which pattern she works on and releases. But another cool thing about her Patreon is she also has a Discord community, and she sometimes asks for suggestions on ideas to put on that poll that she puts on her Patreon. And so I chimed in and I said cicada. Not to brag, it was my idea. But she's big into the neon colorway right now. And so, of course, since I came up with an idea, and people chose it. People chose it. So I just thought that was really cool. So I will cherish this pattern because I kind of had a hand in it. So I do need a frog somewhere around here, so that's kind of why I stopped working on it. Oh, this Ada is a 16 count. I actually have the tag here from Oblong Meow called Pink. So I might run into trouble with the moon up here because it is pink. I tried to position it. It's weirdly positioned because I tried to position it where it might show up okay, but I might have to change the colors to like a purple or something. And I might have to get Amanda to help me. So next I started this in June for Marjorie Maid's Strawberry Moon Sow. So this is from Sprouting Lupine, called Golden Hour Nature Walk. There are little strawberries over there. And this was also, I didn't say this for the cicada, but there's 2 broods coming out at once. So I thought of cicada to commemorate that. I'm not in the 2 broods pathway, thank goodness, but I have seen horror videos of that, and no thanks. Anyway, when I was talking about stitching on 14 count again, this is the project that I was talking about that kind of not renewed my love, but I was like, oh, this isn't too bad. I like it. This was a pre-printed from Zweigart called Vintage Oat. And so this also commemorates the cicada, because we got that. And then there is another one, like the shell down, or the husk, I don't know the technical term. But I got pretty far on this. And I don't know if it's my favorite tree, but it's definitely my favorite leaf. It's the ginkgo leaf. Okay, next is one that I started this month in July. It is Bad Stitch current Patreon pattern called Leafy Sea Dragon. She does her pattern drops not on the 1st of the month, but halfway through the month. So this is actually still available until the 15th, I think, is when they switch over. There's actually 3 colorways. So this was a Pride colorway that is used with Cosmo. And I chose to do the Pride colorway because I'm going to stitch this for my aunt and her wife for Christmas. So I have a little tiny baby start with hanging threads, of course. And I think this is an 18 count thrifted Ada. I don't know exactly what the brand is. But what was cool about this is she collaborated with Jenny from Dying for Sass, and Jenny sourced the Cosmo conversion or thread pack, and so I bought the thread pack on Dying for Sass's Etsy. I don't know. This is such a joy to stitch with, the Cosmo. And it's so funny because my husband, if like yesterday I just had this laying here prepping for this video, and he saw it and he goes, "Is that the fancy Japanese floss?" I was like, "Yep." He's like, "I could tell. You can just tell. It's so vibrant. Just the colors are just chef's kiss." So, and it really is a delight to stitch with. Okay, my last one that I just started the other day is a current Patreon pattern from the Stitch Sprout. I don't think there's a but Stitch Sprout. And it's the Haunted House Sal. I didn't print a picture of the outline, but it's an outline of the house. You can kind of see the roof there. But this is the first drop. Maybe I can do that to orient it correctly. And for this, I was like, if I don't keep up with this Sal, I'm just hopeless. I'm never gonna start a Sal again. I will buy them to support my designer friends, but this is how far I've gotten. I do my best to keep up, but that was another hurdle for Flosstube, is I felt like I didn't stitch enough to really keep up with a Flosstube, but on the other hand, I wanted to make a Flosstube to motivate me to stitch more. So this is a 16 count, which is Garden Crafts Ada, called Unicorn. Couldn't get that out. Okay, so that's all for my WIPs. I've been recording for 30 minutes. A lot of WIP parades are like an hour and a half. So I'm going to quickly share 3 finishes just because. This is Lunar Crow from Fine Frog Stitching. This was also a Cosmo thread project, and it's just so pretty. I don't think that this booklet or PDF is available, but this was from Spellbound Stitches, and it came with 6 patterns that were all designed using the same Cosmo palette, which I also bought the thread pack from Dying for Sass. So these are all the patterns that came with it. And most of these designers, I don't know if they would call me their internet friend, but I consider them my internet friends. So I'm so excited to have this. Even though I am a PDF stitcher, I really wanted to have this physical book where I consider most of these designers my internet friends, and so it's kind of special to me. Anyway, let's get away from the mushy stuff. Well, into more mushy stuff, because this is some stitchy kindness that I stitched. This is by the Stitch Crypt, called Deadly Talented, and this is on just a little sample that Witch's Garden Crafts sends with her, some of her Ada, or not Ada, but fabric, because she has different kinds, fabric orders. So why aren't you focusing? Fine, be like that. So this, and also my Night Spirit Studio finish, is for a Stitchy Kindness project that I can't talk about, but some stitchers are going in on a Stitchy Kindness project, but it's a secret. So I'm actually going to be unfully finishing this, because I did this pattern because my last gallery exhibition that I submitted to was black and white themed. So originally I forgot to print this one. It was a red on a black background, so I did black on this kind of misty from Zweigart. I don't know what it was called. So I did it to submit to the black and white exhibition, and then I'm going to be sending it off as part of this Stitchy Kindness project. So that's all I have. We're at 35 minutes. And I would assume my future videos will kind of be short, like this one is. I did not think of how to end the video either. So this is the end of the video. I'll figure out an ending later. I'm glad I got to this point of actually recording and uploading, because it's been a journey with losing my phone. I had gotten a microphone so the audio would be better, and then I had technology issues with this webcam. See, I'm not even focused. I don't even know what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm gonna end it while it's not videoing or not focusing. So thanks for sticking around, and I hope you subscribe, and I can bring some value to the Flosstube community. So see you in my next video.